Juice WRLD was one of the biggest rappers coming out of Chicago. Using music as an outlet to help with his addiction and childhood issues, we would see his album Goodbye and Good Riddance change his life forever. Here's the story of Juice WRLD and how he truly passed. Jarad Higgins, born on December 2nd, 1998 in Chicago, was raised by a single mother to provide for him and his older brother. Juice WRLD started creating music in his freshman year of high school, releasing his first track titled Forever under the name Juice the Kid on SoundCloud in 2015. Juice WRLD, being a second cousin of famous late rapper Young Dolph, was recording his early songs on his cell phone throughout high school. After joining the internet collective known as Internet Money, Juice WRLD released his debut full-length album titled 999 on June 15th, 2017. On that album, the song Lucid Dreams, being a breakthrough hit on the album, was featured. With the song Lucid Dreams going viral on SoundCloud, Juice WRLD was then co-signed by artists such as Waka Flame, G Herbo, and Lil Bibby. He finally signed with Grade A Productions with the help of Lil Bibby. With Juice WRLD later releasing his song All Girls Are the Same, Cole Bennett of Lyrical Lemonade teamed up with Juice WRLD to create the famous music video for the song in 2018. Following the video's release, Interscope Records reached out to Juice WRLD to sign him for $3 million. This is so he could take his rap career to the next level using a music label. On May 4th, with the advice from his label, Juice WRLD remixed and remastered Lucid Dreams. He officially released it as a single, and once again, he teamed up with Cole Bennett of Lyrical Lemonade to create the official music video. This song would then land at number 2 on the Hot 100 Billboard list, before coming the number 1 song in the world just a few days after. With all of the momentum in the world going Juice WRLD's way, he would then release his album Goodbye and Good Riddance on May 23rd in 2018. Following this album's release, Juice WRLD's issues with narcotics would begin to get worse and worse by the month. Fast forward to March 8th in 2019, Juice WRLD would then go on to release his second studio album, titled Death Race for Love. This would sadly be his last album released during his lifetime. The album debuted at number 1 in the United States, selling 165,000 units first week. With the album featuring songs such as Hear Me Calling and Robbery, there was no surprise that Juice WRLD would take over the music industry for that period of time. Jarad Higgins would then announce his Death Race for Love tour across the globe. As featured in his official HBO documentary, this would be the peak of Juice WRLD's narcotic issues. And then we fast forward to December 8th in 2019. Juice WRLD, alongside his girlfriend Allie, and a few others were flying in a private jet, landing in Chicago. Before landing at Chicago's Midway International Airport, Juice WRLD was informed by one of his security guards mid-flight that law enforcement were tracking his flight and were awaiting his arrival at the airport. The pilot of the private jet ended up giving law enforcement a tip that there was a smell of narcotics on the plane. On Juice WRLD's private jet, he had multiple illegal items on the flight, from having 70 pounds of narcotics stuffed into suitcases, 2 firearms with high-capacity ammunition magazines, and a bag full of narcotic pills. Being told that law enforcement is waiting for you to land is a recipe for disaster when you add everything together. Law enforcement believed that during the flight, when Juice WRLD and his team were told they were awaiting their arrival, Juice WRLD ingested more and more of the narcotic pills. This was an attempt to hide them from the authorities when he landed. The private jet was rented in Juice WRLD's name, meaning all of the illegal items on the flight would then be put onto him when law enforcement searched his plane at the airport. We're unsure of the exact amount of time Juice WRLD would have spent in prison, but according to rap lawyers, they predict a maximum of 20 years in prison for using a private jet to transport 70 pounds of narcotics across the United States, as well as carrying 2 illegal firearms with high-capacity magazines on a private jet, which could be considered as transporting illegal firearms. Now, hearing that information would cause anyone to freak out and get nervous. When you add all of the narcotics that Juice WRLD mixed in, with all of the nerves of law enforcement awaiting his arrival, Juice WRLD's heart then went into overdrive, which sadly caused the seizure inside of the airport. 2 of the rapper's security guards were arrested at the scene for the firearms while inside of the airport. Then later, Juice WRLD's photographer was also arrested. He was booked and charged with a misdemeanor of firearm violation. Law enforcement believes that Juice WRLD was trying to get less of a charge for when he lands by consuming the narcotics, rather than law enforcement having more evidence to charge Juice WRLD with. With an investigation in place, rapper Boosie suggested that the pilot of the plane was ultimately responsible for the passing of Juice WRLD. Referring to the pilot as a snitch, Jarad Higgins had been under suspicion by federal authorities following an incident that occurred in November 2019, before he departed for Australia, which is what prompted a search for his plane. So by this investigation, law enforcement has had their eye on Juice WRLD for many months. They've been tracking everywhere he has been flying, keeping a close eye on everything he's been doing. There's got to be more to it than just the pilot giving law enforcement a call saying that there's a smell of narcotics on the plane. From watching the official Juice WRLD documentary, you would tell that Juice WRLD was hopping on a plane once every week on average. And the one time that law enforcement decides to do a raid on his landing of his private jet, he just so happens to have 70 pounds of narcotics, 2 high magazine firearms, and a lot more. After the passing of Juice WRLD, it left the entire rap industry totally surprised, with many big names in the industry sending out their love and condolences to Juice and his family. We then were blessed with another Juice WRLD album from Lil Bibby and the team at 999. This album would go on to feature hit songs such as Life's a Mess, Come and Go, Wishing Well, and Tell Me You Love Me featuring Trippie Redd, a good friend of Juice WRLD. With the album being a massive success, Lil Bibby would go on to do an interview on YouTube. He would then thank all of the fans of Juice WRLD for supporting the album, as it was one of the best-selling albums in the United States for the year. He even announced that Juice WRLD has a music vault of unreleased music of songs going in the hundreds, allegedly 500 plus unreleased songs. From this album, he then announced Juice WRLD's second album from passing. This album would be titled Fighting Demons, featuring hit songs like Wander to LA, featuring Justin Bieber, To Go Hard, and even Feline, featuring Polo G and Trippie Redd. Which means this is not the end of Juice WRLD. His music will continue to live on for a very, very long time. If you are a fan of Juice WRLD, let me know down below in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm out, peace.